do it like this. Come on, bounce. Come on, bounce. Come on, bounce. Come on, bounce. Do it. Let's do it like this. Up, down, 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 up, do it, do it.
Welcome to the World of Dance After Show presented by World of Dance Studios. I'm your host, Kristen Burt, and each week we are going to be bringing you interviews with choreographers from some of your favorite acts on this season of World of Dance. Now, before I introduce today's guest, we have a very special guest appearance by the co-executive producers on the show. You know them as Nappy Tabs, Napoleon and Tabitha. Take it away, guys.
Hey everybody, I'm Napoleon, and this is my wonderful wife and partner, Tabitha, better known as Nappy Tabs. And we are the co-executive producers on World of Dance.
Today we want to talk about some of the things that, we're us working behind the scenes feel that the judges are looking for in season 4. So really the big key word is originality and emotion. We've been watching as long as you have every season, tuning in, and you're like, what's going to impress us? What haven't we seen before? So originality is key. And I really think if you attempt to tell a story or connect with an emotion, that also takes it up another level.
Yeah, there's nothing like pulling at the heartstrings of somebody or making them feel something in their heart and their soul. I think when you do that, you bring in a whole nother feel to the dance and to movement.
Well, you're having a personal connection with the judges. They feel something in it. I don't think they'll forget it, and that's really what you want them to remember. It's like, wow, I really felt something, and every time you see them come back on the stage, you kind of call back on that emotion that you felt last time. But with that being said, you always have to one-up yourself every episode with something original.
Yeah, somebody who really, to me, pulls at my heartstrings and has a great narrative is MDC3. Those guys really did that for me on this particular episode. And their choreographer, Shannon Mather, we love her to death. I mean, we've known Shannon for quite a long time, over 10 years now. And she's been big in the dance scene, and she's a studio owner. She's been around. We've known her for years, taught with her on convention. Teaching. I mean, yeah, studio owner, convention teacher, a choreographer, a mom, a wife. I mean, all of the things you need to be able to say, hey, I've lived life and I got a great narrative to tell you.
I think, us personally, when we jump in there and come in and see their rehearsals, us and our team, we really wanted her to succeed with the girls and the guys' story in that narrative. But what was interesting is their unique partnering and every transition that was so flawless. But if you make one comment, it's like, what if you do this instead of that? It was like a puzzle. It's like, well, then his arm is here, and then her arm is here, and then how do we reconnect? It was interesting, It was like a big puzzle masterpiece, and we were calling the kids, like pretzels, because they were really putting themselves in some unique formations to really do that interesting partner work, which I think that you'll all agree is super original when you saw it and tuned in. So anyway, take it away, Shannon Mathers.
Thank you so much, Napoleon and Tabitha. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce this week's guest, the founder of the Mather Dance Company and choreographer for MDC3, which you saw on tonight's episode of World of Dance, Shannon Mather.
Yay! Hi, guys.
Hi. And I also want to introduce, because you have MDC3 with you, of course. Just behind you is Emma.
Hi.
And then right next to Emma is Madi.
Hi.
And then sitting next to Shannon is Diego.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. This was quite a night for you guys. You haven't seen it yet. I've seen it.
Oh, we're so excited. We can't wait, but we haven't seen it yet. We saw the sneak peek, but we haven't seen the full episode yet, but we can't wait.
Well, let's rewind a little bit and go back to what made you decide season 4 was the right season for all of you to submit.
Well, actually, we auditioned for it every season. Yeah, we did. So
No.
season 4 was the lucky number for us. Yeah. And I think we're happy about that. I think that we feel like this was the best time. They're older, they're stronger. So I think it was actually a really big blessing that this was the year we got to do it. We feel like we were more prepared and ready.
Okay, so I guess, Shannon, talk to me about what you guys learned auditioning for season 1, 2, and 3, besides perseverance, because a lot of people would give up. But what kind of feedback were you getting for the dancers?
A lot of it was, I think, just that they were still kind of young for the, one of the years we were so disappointed we didn't make it. And then we saw Charity and Andres and we're like, okay, cool. We're not there yet.
We're good.
I think we learned a lot about what types of music to use, like the mainstream music that people would really relate to. So I think we learned a lot about that. And just honestly, I think that they just weren't doing big enough lifts and technically they just weren't there yet. So we just kind of knew that this was our year. I knew that they were ready and we really upped our game for this audition and we took it really serious. It wasn't just like a week in the studio, let's go audition. We really knew that we wanted to make it. So we trained all year and really prepped a strong audition piece. And we kind of just knew exactly what we had to do to make it onto the show.
I'd love to hear from you guys, Emma, Madi, and Diego, because I know sometimes disappointment in the moment is just so frustrating, but oftentimes I find it a good motivator. Did you guys find that leading into season 4 going, we made it here, finally?
Yeah, I definitely work off of, like, if I get disappointed in myself, I'll push, like, 10 times harder to get something I really want. So if I'm really going for something, I'm going to give it, like, dance my face off. So I think we definitely all did that.
Yeah, I started going to the gym and lifting weights so I can do some crazy tricks with them and big lifts. And yeah, that really helped a lot.
You know, Derek always says that. He always tells the guys, go to the gym, start doing some lifting.
Definitely works.
Yeah, that weight training is a big deal. Talk to me about, did you do anything outside of the norm? Because I know you guys compete a lot and you're, in class gaining that technique. But Shannon, were you doing anything outside of the norm for World of Dance?
Really, it was just, I spoke to Diego's parents who are just so supportive. Like, whatever I say, they'll do. Like, they just really trust. So I spoke to him about getting a personal trainer. So they did that. And then we were able to really step up our game with lifts because he also grew a lot, just his age, he was just able to do so much more. And then the kids just all really stepped up their ballet training and, creating the piece. I wanted to do something that nobody's really seen. So it was really important to me that I was coming up with material that you hadn't seen on the show. I wanted to be really unique and different, which is really hard because there was already 3 seasons. So it was just really stepping up what we were doing with the choreography to be unique and different.
Okay, well, that first piece that you guys came in with the qualifiers was extremely unique. Sort of all the puzzle pieces, the intertwining of the hands, it was beautiful. And, especially with contemporary, sometimes viewers feel like, okay, I've seen it. We haven't seen this.
Yeah.
So I've got to imagine that was a lot of working out in the studio of trying to figure like whose head goes underneath where the leg goes.
Yeah. It was hours of that. Like honestly, so many hours and of like doing it and then coming back the next day and I'd look at it like, no, it's not good enough. I don't like we're starting over again.
Yeah, one day would literally just be 2 counts. And that's it for the whole day.
Yeah.
And that was considered like good progress for us.
Yeah.
And that is like a solid day in the trio.
Yeah, if we did 8 counts, we're like, guys,
That was good.
we did it. Yeah.
But I remember one of the like worst feelings. We would go in and like we would show it, and then she'd be like, "Where are we starting?" And we would just be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Well, I also want to know how many pieces did you come in with? Because there are different strategies. Some people like to come in with 3 or 4 completed pieces and others work under pressure. And I think that's really hard because the show is a pressure cooker in and of itself.
Yeah. We came in with 3 prepared. Yeah. So we did 3 before it started. And we just really wanted to make sure that even all 3, we didn't repeat anything we did. So none of the same lifts, none of the same dance like phrases. So it was just a lot of, honestly, workshopping, like coming in and trying to look at, we started so many dances over again and like, oh, that's not right. But we also wanted to be really true to like storytelling. So it was important that we could tell the story, but we had to make sure that we had enough wow. So we just wanted to make sure that we could show everything. I think these 3 are technically amazing dancers. They're great performers. They can do great lifts. So I really wanted to show that they could do everything. Like they're very diverse in what they do.
And did you take into consideration, like watching some of the judges' feedback from prior seasons, because they all have very specific needs and wants? I mean, Jennifer is that storyteller. She wants a story. She wants to feel something. Derek wants sort of the technical aspect. Neo wants is the musicality.
I know. Okay, so I would watch episodes after episodes late at night. Like I have a baby, so I put my baby to bed, and at night I would go and watch over and over every episode and really try to get inside the judge's head of what they like. So I'd study that to know, like I knew that for Jennifer, it had to be a story that she knew what was happening. Like she really wants to be able to tell what's going on. I didn't want her to guess. I wanted to get to her heart, you know. Derek, if we tried to do too much like partnering that was not ballroom, but any like transitions and linked up kind of threading, we were so picky about it because, I mean, he's Derek Huff. Like the partnering he does is incredible. So it had to be smooth. Like I would study that. And I talked to so many choreographers. I'm friends with Gisandra Chavez. And I trained Ashley Gonzalez from Zach and Ashley. So I'd have them come in and look at it and work with it. So I spent a lot of time just bringing in people that were already on the show to look at it, to talk to me about it. Like we really researched and yeah, we worked really hard on it.
That's smart. Now, guys, I want to hear from all of you the mental game of World of Dance. It is, you really have to be sharp. You have to be in the moment. You have to stay present. How did you guys do that? Especially where the qualifiers are like, surprise, all the judges are here.
We definitely had to stay motivated in our work ethic for sure, because we were rehearsing so many hours upon days that it started to get hard on our body. So we definitely had to take care of our injuries that we had and just make sure that our body stayed healthy before show day.
She sprained her ankle in the first rehearsal going into the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Like the very first rehearsal that we had in front of like Team Nappy Tabs, she sprained her ankle.
You're like, no, not today.
Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?
There was definitely a lot of trips to the medic for sure.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Emma, how is it working with your mom? Because I'm sure there are days when you're like, she's around me 24/7, and other days you're so happy she's around you 24/7.
There's definitely some fights that these two hear it all the time, but I think I just have to be like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. Like I have to know that she's my dance teacher in this moment. And I feel like this year it's gotten a lot better with fighting. Like the years before, we had some crying.
She locked herself in the bathroom one time, like one year.
She was
And we couldn't get her out.
Yeah, but this was a lot better because I think I was more focused and like really wanted it. So I knew I had to like focus, listen to what she had to say. But it definitely isn't. I mean, her sister works with us as well, so it's like a full family affair.
Her sister, Maddie's sister, is my assistant.
Wow, this really is a family
The
affair.
whole family. So we're together all the time. So
You weren't kidding when you said you guys quarantined together, essentially.
Oh,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah, like we're together all the time. I mean, he's like my second son, and then they're best. Like we're all best friends. They're all best friends. But Maddie's sister is my best friend, who's my assistant. So we're just together all the time. But
That works out really great though, because you know everyone's taken care of.
yeah, and they trust us, I think, and we really didn't have as many. Like the year before, it was terrible. But that's why I said this year was meant to be. Like it was great. I mean, there was definitely times where I said I'm leaving. Like pay attention, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. But they do these TikTok dances all the time in the middle of the rehearsal. I'm like, stop doing the TikTok dance. Like you can't keep doing it. They drive me crazy. But they worked really hard. We all really wanted it. So
You need a cell phone bin. Be like, this is rehearsal.
for real. Seriously.
Good idea.
Yeah.
You guys are like, don't give her any ideas.
Yeah. Like, what are you saying?
What's wrong with you? Can we talk about the qualifiers in that, I mean, were you guys surprised or had word kind of spread around that it's not just producers in the room? What's the real scoop on that?
We were completely shocked. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I mean, so when we came in on the first day, we actually saw Jennifer Lopez drive in the car, and we were not supposed to see that, remember?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my gosh. And they're like, you weren't supposed to see that. So we knew that like she was around, but we didn't know that she was coming because they really do tell you they're not going to be there.
Mhm.
So, and what happened was we were up in a room. We were, I think, one of the last to go on that day.
Yeah.
But once the people come down and go out, they don't come back up. So there's no way of you knowing what's going on. So it was truly a surprise when they walked in and saw the judges. But I was in a different room before they walked in, watching it backstage
Ooh.
on the monitor. So I saw that they were there and they weren't in the room yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
Did your heart skip a beat?
my heart, I'm like, they don't know, like they're about to walk in. I couldn't believe it. Like, so I knew before they knew because we got split up, and I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens, because I didn't want them to be thrown, mentally. But
I think it really gave us that extra push though. Like those nerves made me like full focus in, and I was like, okay, like I'm ready to go.
Yeah, like we're dancing in front of J-Lo, like that just like, pushed us even more. Like, we have to be perfect.
Well, and it makes sense too, because you're kind of in this warehouse now and you want to make it to the big stage. So
yeah,
that's also a great sort of motivator, catalyst to I'm going to stay focused so that they give me that pass to the next round.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was kind of when we knew we were dancing in a warehouse. We were like, oh, like, because you see the stage. So we said, like, our goal is we have to make it there. Come on, guys. So I knew when they went in, they were just going to go guns a-blazing right there. Like, when they saw her, Diego said he thought that she
It's
was,
like a projection.
it was like a projection.
Yeah.
Like,
They're,
they didn't
like,
even look
glowing.
real.
They really are perfect in real
They
life.
are
Like,
perfect.
they look flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all really good looking and talented and nice.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the judges' feedback. You guys got some really positive feedback. Shannon, for you, obviously you're trying to listen because even though they're directing all the feedback towards the dancers, it's really important for you as the choreographer to take all of this in to get into that duels round.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just really hard for me because I was like, I'm mom, so I'm trying to make sure that my daughter is okay. Like, I know her, the way she breathes. I know her, the way she can look. So I'm trying to be the mom, and then I'm trying to watch as a choreographer and then listen. I don't know. It all was just really, it was crazy. I can't even. That's why I have Nicole, my assistant, because she's very like level-headed. Like,
Focused.
this is what it is.
Was she taking notes? Because I would be like taking notes or having someone take notes.
Just that organized in her brain that she'll just remember everything and be like, okay, this is what it is. And I'm so the one that's just like, like I just am crazy without her. So
you can't tell us what happened in the duels by any means, but can you tease your dance and what we can expect that's different from what you guys did in the qualifiers?
All I can say is that we've done something that nobody's done yet on World of Dance.
Oh, that's a big statement.
So there's my tease.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
And look, the rest of them are like, Mom. They're like, I got nothing.
Yeah, they're like, Mom's a word.
I know. That's the one thing about this particular show. You have to keep a very big secret because the taping was earlier this year. And then, you have to wait until the show debuts.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just, like I said before, I knew it was really, I studied the show and I knew it was really important that if we were going to like do well and people were going to receive us well, I had to think outside the box. So
And you definitely did that.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Good. I can't wait to see more. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, this year has been a very unusual year for all of us. And I would love to know how you guys pivoted in terms of going, okay, studios have to shut down right now. How did you keep up with the training? Did you immediately go to Zoom? Were you guys ready for that?
We were all together, so we just went into the studio for her Zoom classes and all of our normal classes.
They assist me all the time.
Mhm.
So once it, like, we couldn't dance anymore, really, and we couldn't go in the studio, I had to figure out how, I own a studio as well.
Mhm.
So I had to figure out how I was going to keep the kids training. So obviously we did Zoom like the rest of the dance world. And I just put all of my classes over Zoom. So these three would come and assist me all the time. So that's how they basically kept training. But they also would take their ballet classes and hip hop and jazz and conditioning. And it's also kind of cool because I can get other guest teachers that I might not be able to get. So just taking advantage of that as well, trying to find different people that can work with them is something I've done too to keep them going.
Shannon, I'd love to know sort of in this situation, what were some of the advantages you found with having to do Zoom classes and maybe some of the disadvantages, things that you found challenging?
So the advantages, honestly, were now that I've been able to do Zoom classes, I've had dancers from all over the world take class. So I've been training people from Australia and Canada and Japan. And I feel like we've met a lot of people through Zoom and just being able to take, it does feel like you're taking class with different people. So they've been able to dance with just all kinds of different dancers. So that's been a really positive thing. I just feel, I see videos posted of my work and my combos from just people from all over the world, which is really special. Definitely the disadvantage is that people don't have the space. They don't have the dance floor, so having to kind of alter what I'm teaching and, like just leaping and turning, you can't really do. So I've had to get creative with keeping stationary leaps and keep conditioning their turns, but not necessarily doing the turns, like exercises for hamstrings and lower abs, just things like that. I've had to get creative with that.
Okay, from the dancer's perspective, what's been the best part of it and what's been the hardest part of it?
I like the fact that we're not in a room full of people, so we can just focus on our own dancing and just not have to worry about what other people think of us or like if we're gonna mess up or anything. So that's a really nice aspect of it, but it's also sad that we don't get to dance with our dance friends anymore and feel the energy of the other people in the room.
Yeah, we've also just been training really hard for World of Dance. So we've been missing, we haven't seen our friends in a while. So we were excited to come back to them. And now it's just like we're over Zoom. So we kind of just see them on FaceTime.
Yeah, I definitely miss like the energy in the room, like the classroom aspect of it all. and I just miss that whole like family that I have at the studio.
Yeah, especially for our graduating seniors.
I
'Cause
know.
we were like really close with them, and now we don't get like a last year like dance.
We have 9 graduating.
You had a lot.
They've danced with them since I started Mather Dance Company. So they've been together for years. And we just didn't get to have this last year with them. And that's like really sad. But
I know all the graduations and final dance shows and a lot of those things broke my heart.
Here. Yeah, Maddie's graduating, so she didn't get to have her graduation.
It's going to be over Zoom, our graduation.
Oh, jeez, that's tough.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to open the studio soon? Because California's in this weird little transitional, like things can start to open beginning on Friday.
Yeah, we're going to open on the 22nd of June. So I'm going to bring my like younger mini junior company on Monday, Thursday, and then my teen senior will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's going to be like different doors they could come in. We have to take their temperatures, just making sure that everybody's safe. So we're working through everything now. I'm going to have next week, I'm going to have to work with my staff, and we're going to have to figure out how it's all going to go down. But we are going to be back in the studio on the 22nd. Yeah. And we're going to work on like something for the seniors, a concept video. Since they didn't get to do their pieces, we're going to work on something that we could maybe film and go on location and do something really special so that they have something.
They deserve that for sure.
Yeah.
One thing we always love to talk about here at World of Dance is community. And I think this year, I feel like the dance community has had to come together in different ways, like as we've been saying, Zoom. And I'd love to know from you, Shannon, like what the dance community means to you, what it's given you in your work.
I mean, I just feel like it's so funny because even if I've never met somebody in the dance community, it's like, I feel like you still know them because everybody really is supportive of each other and each other's work. So really the dance community has pushed me. There's so many different people that I look up to that I love and has pushed my choreography. Like, for example, to Sandra Chavez last year on the show, there's just so many amazing, talented people. And I think that I've learned so much from just different talented choreographers, and they're really supportive, and everybody's really willing to help you and support you and be there for you. And I just love how the dance community comes together and is very supportive, and I think that I've just learned so much from different choreographers that I look up to, and whenever you reach out to them, they're very supportive. There's just people that they have your back, and I think it's such a small world. There's so many people out there, but I feel like if you're part of this dance community, you have a family. And I just think that everybody's super supportive, and we feel like a family, whether we've met them or not, even if it's just over Instagram or whatever. I think that it's just people are in this industry are very loving and supportive, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I feel so blessed that this is what I do and get to be a part of an industry that just really is supportive, and just wants to see the best for each other.
Yeah, that is really important, especially in a tough year too, because everyone's kind of feeling it, and we're all having great days and then really tough days. And I think dance is something that connects us all. I
think so, yeah. And I think it's just using our art and using what we do to create a light in the world, and that's like our goal. That is our main goal, actually, is that we can use the gifts that we've been given to try to help people through their day, and just to be a light, to be an inspiration. That's really, really important to us.
And for you three, I would love to know how World of Dance inspired you, because I think oftentimes, you finally get there, you achieve that goal of getting on the show. How did this motivate you beyond the TV show in your careers?
I definitely think that this competition gave us a huge exposure so that we can work in the industry when we're older. And
it definitely gave me some more confidence that we have what we need to maybe make it our main career, and we all love it so much. But now it's more of like we can make something of it, and it's not just like a hobby, it's something we're really invested in.
I second that. From being on World of Dance, it gave me a bigger push to pursue a dance career in the industry, and that I can actually be successful in what I do. And hopefully book as many jobs as I can. And yeah.
Yes, we all need to get back to set, don't we?
Oh, I can't wait. Like, I just can't wait for it all to open up again, you know? And there's something that you just can't touch, the energy in the room when there's dancers all in a room together. It's just not the same over Zoom. I mean, I feel like we're so blessed with having Zoom and keeping us going, but you cannot touch the energy when everyone is in the room inspiring each other. Like, it's just something that it's the best feeling in the world. I miss seeing a room full of dancers and teaching and feeding off of that energy. It's untouchable, you know?
And being able to hug everyone, just saying hi.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just want to squeeze all my dancers' faces. Like, I just miss them. I do.
Well, I was so excited that you guys were doing the show. So I'm thrilled to see that your first round was a huge success. Someone buzzed in my ear and said, they're doing the show. And then I searched around Instagram and I found the account and I was like, yes,
Yay.
gave you guys a follow early on.
Yes, I saw that because we had an interview a while back and I was like, oh, she's amazing. So I was excited when you followed us.
Yay. I know, Shannon, we go way back. I feel like, I don't know what year it was, but I don't know, 7?
Yeah.
Maybe?
So, yeah, we do.
So you think somewhere around there we started connecting?
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
here we are in 2020, and I'm so glad we were able to connect through World of Dance again. I want to congratulate all of you guys.
Thank
Did a great
you.
job in the first round, and we can't wait to see the duels and that new something that we've never seen before.
Yay!
Yes.
Watch. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank, of course, Shannon and MDC3. We will be back next week with another guest. And we want to thank you all for joining us here at World of Dance After Show. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
Roll up and drop it back down. Show it up, let's go.